This video is for the book talk community and for authors, so if you are an author, feel free to stick around as well. There's been a lot of discourse the last few days over the rating systems that we use for books. Namely, a future author has come on and said, if I finish my book, I deserve to get at least a 3-star rating, and that goes for every author. I understand where she's coming from. I truly do. I myself am an aspiring author. I'm actually published for poetry. Very different from a novel. I understand that. And sitting down and writing a novel is absolutely hard work, and that deserves to get recognized. I fully get that. But here's a take that I have not been seeing around this review conversation. I have not seen people discussing the importance and the function of the 1- and 2-star reviews. While a 1- and 2-star review can absolutely be deeply hurtful to the author who has poured their blood, sweat, and tears into this novel, those reviews are for readers, yes, but they serve a very important purpose for the readers, because not everybody is going to like your book. If you write a book that everybody likes, it is going to be so watered down and so nonsensical. Like, you literally cannot make everybody happy. I'm going to give you an example. Dr. Seuss. Everybody loves Dr. Seuss, right? I don't. I literally cannot stand Dr. Seuss. And when my children were little, I did not want any Dr. Seuss books in my house because I hate reading them. They drive me crazy. However, me giving Dr. Seuss a 1- or 2-star rating would be the exact same reason why other people would give Dr. Seuss books a 5-star rating. And that's just on a children's book. Let's broaden the spectrum to, more on the novel form, okay? My favorite book of all time that I have read over and over and over again, and I'm planning to reread it again this year, is The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. This was the first book that I had ever read where I had seen polyamorous representation in a novel. Now, do I think it was done particularly well? No. However, there were many, many, many things in this book that were done amazingly well and that I absolutely love, and it keeps me coming back to this book over and over and over. Does everybody feel that way? No, absolutely not. And there are, on Goodreads, 13,782 reviews of this book. That's just reviews, not ratings. Ratings, there are over 99,000 ratings for this book. 4,508 of them are 1-star reviews. I have read through some of those 1-star reviews before because I'm curious why people hate this book that I love so much that I keep going back and rereading it every couple of years. And I realized the reason they hate it is the same reasons that I love it. So many people hate the polyamorous representation in this book because they themselves are deeply monogamous or believe in the monogamous world mindset and that's the only way to live or the only proper way to live. And that's totally fine. That's not even part of it, that is part of it, but that's not the whole thing. There are other people. This book, when I recommend it to people, I always tell people, read the trigger warnings on a book before you pick it up. This book is about grief. This book is about grieving so many different types of relationships and the relationships that we have with people, and what do we do to heal and move past these relationships when we don't have a way to fix them, when we are past the point of no return with these relationships. And every single character in this book is facing the consequences of grief in some way or another. I reread this book every couple of years because I'm in therapy. I'm going through all of my own grieving process, and this book gives me catharsis. It allows me to see my own internal worldview represented in a book and cry about it and be okay because I'm crying about somebody else, but I'm also deeply feeling and healing my own inner wounds. As reviewers, We need to be aware when we are writing reviews and rating books that we're not just talking about the things that we like. We need to be discussing the things that we don't like about these books and why we don't like them. Because the reasons that we hate a book may be the reason that another person picks up. This is what we call constructive criticism. If you just go in and say, this book was so terrible, I don't understand why anyone would read it, I hate it so much, that's not a constructive review. So let's circle back to Dr. Seuss. I told you I don't like Dr. Seuss. I don't like the rhyming scheme. I personally do not like the style of illustrations that Dr. Seuss books are written in. I feel like the way that these books have a fucking mental grip hold on little kids across generations and they just recite them over and over and over and over and over, that drives me crazy. So is it the book itself? Is it the writing itself? Truly, is it Dr. Seuss himself that I hate? No. And do I think that his books have an audience? Absolutely. Just not in my house. What is your least favorite book? What books have you been rating 1 and 2 stars and why? Tell me in the comments. I want to know. I can't be the only one.